Good afternoon, this is Brian. Today is Saturday, October 14th, 2023, and I want to do a video on Southern California's fall color. So, this video is going to be a nice little labor of love. An ode to the different trees, shrubs, and plants that change color in fall. Now, a lot of people might not associate fall color with Southern California. However, if you've been here long enough, you've lived here long enough, or you visited enough, if you know where to go, you'll find it. So, what this video purpose is to showcase different aspects of fall color here in Southern California. And it's going to go, see, today will be my first set of clips, and this will run through the fall and probably into the early winter months at the lower elevations, because I simply want to showcase different plants that change color here in autumn, because there are several plants that do. So, even though today is my first set of clips, and they're going to be taken here in the Laguna Mountain Recreation Area here in mid-October. Now, as you come along right now, it's not very far along in the color change. But as we progress through October, and probably into mid-November, there will be leaf changes here. Now, for this area in the Laguna Mountains, the most conspicuous fall color plant will be the California black oak, Quercus callagii. This will be our most conspicuous and easy to spot fall color plant. And as you see here, the change is just underway. I believe we had a cooler than normal September, which I believe probably gave the plants a false sense of beginning of fall. However, October's been the exact opposite, with very warm temperatures, and in some areas downright blazing hot. So we do have some here. Some of the black oaks are changing. Well, most of them are. It's just some of them are starting to show more conspicuous color. And this is again Quercus callagii, the California black oak, our most conspicuous contributor to the fall color scene. Now, most of their color change will involve buttery shades of yellow. And the fact that October, the main month that determines whether it's going to be an earlier show or a later show, is starting to indicate it's going to be a later show this year for the second year in a row, because of the well above average October temperature we've experienced here in Southern California. So this whole video as a whole is going to take place periodically between now and mid-October, probably well into December, because at different elevations mean different temperature regimes and different times for fall color. So, like I said, we are getting some change, but it's going to be another slow year, just like last year. But last year was different because October was actually a little bit cooler than average after a hot September. And the only caveat to that was last October, though it averaged cooler than average, it got off to a really warm and tropical muggy start. So I believe that had a part in delaying last year's peak colors until the first half of November. This year, it's just the downright hot temperatures. So let's take a stroll here. Just enjoy what we have and look forward to more as the weeks pass by. Right there. That oak tree is well into its change. Then, that's not the only thing we get to look at. We can also look at western chokecherry, Prunus virginiana variety demissa, because some of them can change quite brilliantly as well. And they can get hues of red and orange. So that will vary up the fall color palette here. Let's go to this thicket here. This thicket's not really well into changing. There are some thickets I passed on the way up here that are coloring quite nicely already. These ones are a little slower. But if you look in here, you see some orange and red. Again, this is Prunus virginiana variety demissa, western chokecherry. Now, through the course of this video, you will likely see me showing repeated, let's say, images of the same species over and over, so I can showcase the range of fall colors. So, again, through this video, you'll probably see several shots, several pictures, and several video images of western chokecherry, as I find more brilliantly colored specimens along my travels. Same thing with black oak. I do have a vacation coming up in a few days, therefore I will likely be traveling to other mountain spots here in Southern California in order that I be able to get some more fall color shots. So come along with me on my adventures as I showcase the fall color in Southern California. Well, again, I think it's important to go to as many different spots as possible and document fall leaf change in as many different locations as possible and find as many species as I can. Now, during this video, it's not going to only be native plants that I'm going to showcase, because we do have several ornamental species in Southern California, whether you're near the coast, inland, foothills, and even the mountains like Big Bear, Wrightwood, places like that also have ornamental trees that change extremely vibrantly. So be on the lookout for that as well. As I pass by different species of ornamental trees, of course, it'll be a little more heavily weighted towards our native species, because I really like to truly showcase what our native plants, our native winter deciduous plants, are capable of showing off when they change color and go dormant for the winter. So be prepared, and hopefully this video will get you excited about exploring some more areas of Southern California where you can find great fall color. And I will also provide a list of other possible spots that I may not get a chance to visit this fall. So be on the lookout for that. And let's take an exciting journey around Southern California to find different areas where a leaf change can be quite shockingly nice. Alright, so in this clip, I'm still in the Laguna Mountains, but now I'm near Storm Canyon Vista area, and I want to take a look and see what kind of fall colors I can find in this area. So let's see. Let's take a look around and see. Should be able to find some over here. You can see some over here, right before we get to that little grove of Jeffrey pines. So let's go over there and see. I've mentioned that Western chokecherry is going to be one of my plants that I'm going to be highlighting a lot because it can get a quite rich variety of fall foliage. Let's go over to this little patch over here of Sunrise Highway. Right over there is the Storm Canyon Vista area. So let's go find us some Western chokecherry. Coming up on a patch right now that's starting to change very nicely right now. Right over here, we're starting to get some really deep reds and some nearly purple hues as the leaves start changing. So again, this is Prunus virginiana variety demissa, and it's kind of in its early stages of changing. As you see here, still a lot of green on it, but sometimes some of the first few leaves can start getting a deep red color. This is easily one of our more impressive fall color shrubs here. And it's quite common here in the Laguna Mountains. You'll find this plant a lot. Sometimes it's a low-growing shrub like this, and sometimes it's a very large shrub that's almost the size of a small tree. Let me get a few pictures of some of these leaves as they're changing red, purple, and even orange. You'll also notice that some of the leaves kind of have a burgundy, almost like a burgundy wine kind of color to them. So this plant will really decorate the fall palette here in Southern California with some pretty nice color. It is one of our more brilliantly changing species. But there are a lot of other species as well. And again, in this video, I'm going to take the time and dive into as many different species as I can before my timeline runs out, which will be sometime in December when I will start editing and uploading this video. So again, this date is October 14th, 2023. And we're along Sunrise Highway here in Laguna Mountain Recreation Area, not that far from Laguna and El Prado campgrounds. And in these disturbed sites, sometimes meadows and sides of woodlands, you will get these thickets of chokecherry. So a lot of times grassy areas, sometimes in chaparral, woodland, and even conifer forest, be a great place to find thickets. Just look at the really rich crimson red on some of these leaves. Some of the ones by the roadside are even darker red. So I'm going to go over there and we'll take a look at those as well. So anybody who really knows a lot about Southern California and the places where you go find fall color will note, and it's going to be predominant in this video as well, is that our fall colors tend to be more on the yellows. So we're going to really take some time to appreciate it when we find these reds and oranges. But I've got to be carefully getting close to Sunrise Highway here. Just look at some of the purples. The purple showing up on some of these western choke cherries. It's absolutely amazing. You get these scarlet reds. Right over here. Try to do this quickly before more cars come. Now, this brown mass is a plant called dodder in the genus Cuscuta. That's an annual plant that attaches itself to upright shrubs and is a parasite on them. But look at that burgundy, wine red, purplish fall color. Absolutely amazing. Absolutely breathtaking. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to another spot and try to find some more plants. You might have noticed in that last photo, I found some bloom action. This is a plant that flowers from midsummer well into fall, depending on location and elevation. This is broadleaf California fuchsia, Epilobium conum subspecies latifolium. And it can be quite locally common in the shady or chaparral areas, woodlands, and even conifer forests and oaks. And it tends to peak here in early fall, sometimes well into October actually. There's some more right here. So this is more of a fall flowering plant. So that's something we get to look forward to as a complement to the fall leaves. So fall blooms and fall leaves make for a very festive display. And this is definitely festive. This is a very beautiful flower. A lot of our flowers and a lot of our autumn flowers tend to be sunflower family plants, and they tend to have different shades of yellow. So the California fuchsia is definitely something very much to appreciate. Now we have Sierra gooseberry, and this is Ribes roesley, variety roesley. This is another plant that you will probably see a good few more times during my autumn foliage video. I expect that this video is probably going to be very long. If I have to, I might divide it into parts depending on how long it is. But we are starting to get some wine red color on the Sierra gooseberry. And that's another one of our colorful autumn treats here. So as I go through this gully, I'm going to show you some backlit fall color of another gooseberry right here. How beautiful is that? How insanely gorgeous is this? This is another species of plant that dons our mountains in absolutely spectacular autumn color. This is another red. So far, a lot of the plants I've showcased actually have more of a reddish color. Again, predominant fall color here in Southern California is a very varying shades of yellow. And here I am starting it off with some of the more brilliant ones. Just look at the colors on this gooseberry. Absolutely breathtaking. Red is my favorite fall color, to be honest with you. And I did get spoiled the 8 years I did live in New Jersey with seeing a fair amount of that as well. So I've always loved fall color, even when I was born and raised in Southern California, even well before moving to New Jersey. But I've always loved fall color. Fall's always been my favorite season. And I'm going to come up to yet another colorful autumn coloring plant. Here it is. And fortunately, it's kind of past peak, so we're kind of going towards the leafless side. But here it is, Rhus aromatica skunk brush or skunk bush, sometimes called three-leaf sumac or even called squaw bush. This is a plant that remarkably resembles poison oak, only, again, it resembles poison oak. It's got leaflets of 3 like poison oak, but it doesn't have that urushiol. I mean, some people might have some reactions to certain sumacs who have extremely sensitive skin, but most people will find this plant to be quite harmless. And how you can tell the difference between poison oak and this bush here, Rhus aromatica, as you look at the middle there, look at the 3 leaflets. The big leaflet in the middle does not have a big long petiolule or a long stalk. And they have nascent inflorescences. In other words, they pre-form next year's flower bud. So this will be next spring's flower bud right there. And like poison oak, and is related to poison oak in the cashew family, Anacardiaceae, just like poison oak, it can exhibit brilliant fall colors too. Poison oak is another one I am going to showcase as we go through fall, because it does have a very beautiful fall color as well. And we're looking here at anything from yellow with red edges on the leaves, scarlet, and even purplish burgundy red. So this is yet another brilliantly colored plant that will liven up our landscape with fall color. So this is another plant to look out for if you're craving fall color. Now, this one tends to peak a little earlier. So a lot of times by mid-October, a lot of these plants are already past their peak. So sometimes even as early as late September, sometimes even early September, you'll start seeing the changes come on this plant, Rhus aromatica. But as you go into mid-October and later October is when this plant's going to be leafless. So the window's pretty short on Rhus aromatica. And getting to the mountains in early October, while most of the other trees and shrubs will still be green, this will be one of your first fall coloring plants. Rhus aromatica, squaw bush, skunk brush. And then I'm going to talk again about Epilobium canum subspecies latifolium, the broadleaf California fuchsia, because when it gets ready to go dormant in the winter, it also changes color, sometimes as it's still flowering. So as you see here, we can see these brilliant scarlet, or actually more like an bright orange red flower. However, if you notice, the lower leaves are changing color. So broadleaf California fuchsia is also known to get fall leaf color, even though it's more of an herbaceous winter deciduous perennial. It does change color in fall. The leaves change to sometimes a pinkish red, sometimes very brilliantly so. And it's yet another awesome plant to see in fall. So that's why I'm trying to make as much as I can happen this season, so I can showcase the diversity. Where to go find it and how to enjoy it. So we are underneath the Storm Canyon Vista area along Sunrise Highway, about a quarter mile north of the Laguna and El Prado campgrounds. So let's just take some time to enjoy these fall colors. I'm going to take a couple pictures and maybe go shoot off to another spot and see if I can find just a little bit more before it's time to leave. So before I actually leave this area, I also wanted to take time to showcase another plant that is actually an herbaceous plant. It's not a shrub or a tree like most of our fall coloring species are in the world. It's this plant here. This is a subspecies of glandulosa, sticky cinquefoil. So it's a spring and summer blooming plant. It's an herbaceous plant, and it goes dormant by going dormant back to the root. So the root's perennial, and the top of it's ephemeral or seasonal. But as the plant gets ready to senesce, or the stems get ready to senesce back to the root system, some of them actually change pretty nice red, purple, and orange in fall too. So this is glandulosa. I'm not sure what subspecies is here. It's either probably going to be glandulosa or Wrangeliana, and that's really not too important because whatever subspecies it is, the other subspecies can change color like this in the fall as well. So look for this plant as well. In the fall, it has these seed heads from the flowers in the springtime. And it's got these pinnately compound leaves with 3 to 5, sometimes 7 leaflets. And in October, they start turning red, pinkish red, and orange, kind of similar to the Epilobium canum subspecies latifolium. So there's one more species of plant I'm going to try to find before I actually step out of here. I haven't seen a lot of fall color on the ones I've seen so far, but let's see. Give me a minute, and I'll go look for it. Here we go. Here's one, and this is Utah serviceberry. Now, predominantly Utah serviceberry, Amelanchier utahensis, it's going to be more of a yellowish color, kind of festive from a distance, but sometimes the leaves tend to fall off before they have a chance to color, and that's not all the time though. Sometimes they do get a nice buttery yellow in the autumn, and sometimes it makes for quite a nice display. However, I have seen this plant change to orange in the San Bernardino Mountains. I've been up over, it's not that far from Heart Bar Peak. It's a Forest Service road coming up from Highway 38 if you're going to hike Heart Bar Peak. It's a Forest Service road. I can't remember it right now, but I'll type it in the screen. And you start going up a series of switchbacks. And I remember one September day, and this area's near Big Bear, so it's not exactly near it, but it's in the San Bernardino Mountains, and it's about a half an hour or so drive, half an hour, maybe 35-40 minute drive from Big Bear. And there are a lot of Utah serviceberry on a series of switchbacks going up this Forest Service dirt road. And I remember one September 9th, 2018, my friend and I were hiking to Heart Bar Peak, and we were going up the switchbacks, and we noticed that they were all decked out in orange. I don't know if I still have any pictures of it. If I have pictures of it, I'll try to paste it in somewhere on this video. But normally, I usually see this shrub turning yellow, sometimes kind of a yellowish brown before the leaves drop off. But I have seen it change to a really nice orange. So that is a possibility, especially in colder areas. And where I was, it was above 7,000 feet. Here we're about 5,600 feet or so right now. So we're not very high elevation, but you can expect some fall color change on that as well. And I guess over near above 7,000 feet, they're obviously going to change earlier. But, all right. So that's Utah serviceberry. Again, if I find more in other areas with more fall color, I'm obviously going to whip out the camera and get it, because I'm trying to squeeze out as much awesome footage as I can into this video. So again, be prepared for either a very long video or a series of videos. So I'll see how this is when I go through the editing process. And then we also have what I believe here, I think this is Symphoracarpus mollis, creeping snowberry. This is kind of a low-growing species here. And during the course of probably more towards later October, we'll start getting some more pale yellow. Nothing extremely brilliant, but again, I like fall, and I just like fall foliage. And you can see some paling of the foliage here. So we'll be on the lookout for that plant as well and see if we can find some areas where it might have more of an impactful fall color. So stay tuned for more of this video as I find more and more stuff to document. All right, so coming up to some Pacific dogwoods in fall color. These Canyon live oaks are insanely beautiful. Look at these big cone Douglas firs. Just can't get enough of this. Look at how beautiful that is. But yeah, we're getting some Pacific dogwoods coming up now. No way. They have some flower bracts on them. I can't really get a good view of it from here, but some of them have some flower bracts on them. Sometimes these have been known to not only bloom in spring, but sometimes again in fall occasionally. I wonder if Tropical Storm Hillary's moisture kind of propelled them into doing a small bloom. But yeah, this is Cornus Natalii, the beautiful Pacific dogwood. I gotta watch out not to touch this here. This is all Western poison oak, but what an incredibly handsome large shrub, small tree. Sometimes you can get it to almost medium-sized trees. Usually pretty small and shrubby here. But just look at this. Just a fall color. I told you, pastel colors, pretty common on Cornus Natalii. There's a even much more brilliantly colored one coming up ahead. And I'm gonna be sticking it out till I get over there. But this is an absolutely gorgeous species of shrub/tree. Very closely related to the dogwoods you get in the eastern half of the United States, like in the mid-Atlantic and northeast, southeast, mid-Atlantic, northeast. Up from Georgia all the way up through Connecticut and stuff like that. You get Cornus Florida, which is a close relative of this one. And the leaves are very similar. I think the bark's a little different on Cornus Florida, the flowering dogwood of the eastern half of North America. Bark's, I think, a little bit different, a little more checkered, I think. I've never really seen these get large enough to get the furrowed bark. But yeah, this one right here's got even some more scarlet in it. So yeah, Powell Mountain's definitely a leaf peeping place. If you're into autumn leaf change, which I am very much into. This is how beautiful this is. I really want to do a spotlight video on this, but yeah, I gotta probably do it like I'm doing with the Toyon spotlight video, which is still in the works, by the way. You just get it in different stages of the year. So this if I did a spotlight video on this, it probably wouldn't get released till sometime in 2024. But just, oh wow, that is so satisfying. That is just so doggone beautiful. Doggone dogwoods, coloring up the scene here in Southern California. And you'll find these a lot in Sequoia National Park and all up the Pacific coast. Mostly here in Southern California, mostly in the mountains. Not super high elevation, mostly below 6,500 feet. I don't think I've ever seen them much above 6,000 feet. But another place to see them here in Southern California is over in San Bernardino County in the San Bernardino National Forest on the western side of the range on north-facing slopes and canyons. It's another great place to see it. Sometimes you'll see it driving up the 138 towards Lake Arrowhead. If you're coming up from Cajon Pass, you'll see this again. Just such a beautiful species. And they even get burnt burnt sugar colors too. This is a multifaceted fall color plant. It just blows the mind how beautiful that is. Like I've said in other videos, and you probably maybe noticed it if you've gone hiking, but most fall colors in Southern California are different shades of yellow, like oaks and cottonwoods and willows provide the most fall color by volume. But if you know where to look, you'll find different shades of fall color. You'll find the reds, the oranges, the scarlets, western poison oak, skunk brush. Those are two other species that get very multifaceted fall colors as well. And here's some western poison oak right here. Way past its peak though. So those kind of oranges, burnt colored leaves. Poison oak gets a similar fall color to Pacific dogwood, but usually the leaves change much earlier on poison oak. A lot of the poison oak along here is already leafless and dormant. Like these vines climbing up this big cone, all this white fir, that's all poison oak climbing up that. Most of them, they shed their leaves much earlier, especially when they're out in the sun more. And we got more western chokecherry, some nice larger thickets of it, and they haven't even really started changing yet. I'm kind of surprised. The ones out in the sun, those ones are already actually a little bit past their peak. But yes, we're going down into Dome Valley, and we're getting these beautiful slopes of white fir, California classic incense cedar, bighorn Douglas fir all over this slope here underneath Booker Hill. That's up towards Booker Hill, or it was earlier. Well, yeah, okay, here's more of that western poison oak in fall color. It's hard to deny that is beautiful. That is beautiful. And it routinely changes nice colors here every fall. I've seen it in drought when it still changes red, even when the conditions aren't the greatest. Western poison oak is usually a pretty surefire bet for fall color here. But I'm going to keep working my way down. There's still more to see. I still have over a mile of hiking to get down this hill, so there's more coming up. So stay tuned. All right, so here I am. Just made that quick little left turn over here. I just had to gawk at this. Look how brilliantly colored this poison oak is. Oh boy, this is beautiful. Oh, anywhere, it's kind of between pastel and scarlet, but it is absolutely outstandingly beautiful to look at. Again, from a little bit of a distance. But yeah, so I'm going to go back on the main Dome Valley Road. I'm going to come up on some bigger bighorn Douglas firs pretty soon, so stay tuned for some more of that. Love those Lombardy poplars. So big, tall. Probably close to 100 feet tall. Populus nigra italica. Can't get enough of these brilliant trees. Beautiful fall color. People who live here are lucky. There's some kind of pine, I think it's a ponderosa pine too, in their yard. That was a purple leaf plum. I forgot about this one. Prunus raicifera atrapurpurea. Purple leaf plum. Very commonly planted in lowland SoCal. They don't seem to do so well
They might for a while, but it usually doesn't last very long. I forgot about this one on the way out. On the way in, I was too busy gawking at the fall color. But Paracantha coccinea, scarlet firethorn, sometimes common ornamental. This is not native here. I think it's native to Europe or something. But just like our native toyon, they get these brilliant red pomes in mid to late fall, mid to late autumn. These are absolutely gorgeous. They're usually large shrubs, but sometimes a small tree. Well, this is basically... Okay, so I'm finally back after a couple months, like a month and a half, because I wanted to film a tour of Southern California during the autumn foliage. So what happened was, as I was filming using this memory card I'm working with right now, I ended up misplacing it. Missed about a month of fall color. So I'm going to go ahead and try to pick up a little bit where I left off. So, what I might do with this video is try to insert some fall color shots from later October and earlier November to try to insert them in maybe some pictures and stuff so you get to see what it's like. However, here at this low elevation, we're just a few hundred feet above sea level. It's now November 21st, and now we have some fall color here in the lowlands. And it's kind of hard to get a lot of good shots this year because fall color show on some of the trees wasn't as good as I was hoping, especially considering how hot this autumn has been. In fact, today it's probably about 78 degrees, probably close to 80 degrees right now. But now, as I said before, the California sycamores are one of the later trees to shed their leaves in fall. And this is Platanus racemosa, and their leaves are going to change from deep yellow to a brownish color, as notice here. So for this, as you see a grove of sycamores in later fall, you'll get some nice color. As you can see here, they'll give off kind of a burnt orange appearance from a distance. But yes, even the sycamores, from a distance, a grove of sycamores can actually be pretty neat looking. So, Platanus racemosa, the California sycamore. Yes, one of our fall color trees, much later. And then arroyo willow, Salix lasiolipus. Your better bet is to catch this at higher elevations for great fall color shows. Here, we have some yellowing, and then the Gooding's willow, Salix goodingi, is another later tree to color. Will also give you different shades of yellow as well. We still have some leaves on the poison oak. If you look down in this gully here, you can see there's still some foliage left on the poison oaks. The ones here in the shade tend to have more of a yellowish, light orange hue, as opposed to the ones out in the sun, which turn deep purple and red. So we do have some fall foliage left over. You can see that vine right there. That's another western poison oak. Has a little bit more of a reddish hue. So we still do have some fall foliage. I'm going to get a little closer up to some of the poison oak without getting too close, if you know what I mean. Let's take a closer look. Some of this will actually be backlit by the sun, so it'll look pretty neat. Right here. This poison oak still has some fall color on it. missed the peak of the Fremont cottonwoods. They're already nearing their leaflessness already. But you can see some of the willows are changing. There's a little bit here. Alright, see you on the next clip. Alright, so I was kind of expecting this one to be a little further along, but this is a California box elder right here. Inaugural, California. I did a short video on this back in early spring when it was starting to bud out, but get a little yellowish color on it. Segundo subspecies californicum. 3 to 5 leaflets. This is an actual species of maple that's native down here. It's pretty cool to see. It's the only one I've seen here in Mission Trails so far. Hoping to see more as I explore this area more. Let's see if there are any more little tidbits today. Alright, now we have London plane tree, Platanus hispanica. It's not this here, this is California sycamore, but these are London plane trees here, which usually kind of brown off in late fall. Looks very much like our California sycamores. Huh. Very similar. When they're backlit, they can be kind of festive looking. Go down here, see if there's anything showing. Not much fall color down here. A lot of this brown stuff here is Douglas mugwort getting ready to go dormant for winter. Usually dies back to its roots in colder areas. But we have a little touch of it on some of these willows here. We've got red willow here. Again, these usually go leafless much later. As you see, the cottonwood trees are predominantly leafless already. Assuming down here gets cold air drainage. But yeah. Pretty interesting. Yeah, starting to get a little more subdued coloring down here near the Mission Dam. Little pieces and bits. Bits and pieces, pieces and bits. One fall color plant isn't with regard to its leaves, but its fruit. Toyon, Heteromales, or Budifolia. That's one piece of fall color that's pretty reliable here. You do have some willow fall color action going on over here, so let's go take a look. This little overlook over here. Looks like I might have missed it. Last several outings have been focused on the mountains, to be honest. I've been up in the mountains a lot. But yeah, we got some nice Gooding willow right here. So a little bit. Pretty nice, pretty nice. Again, most of the cottonwood trees seem to have shed most of their leaves, but we've got a nice Gooding's willow right here. So we've got a little bit of action going on. Again, I think this year, figuring that I lost this memory card, I was planning on spending much more time getting fall color shots from all different elevations here in Southern California, but it's been kind of disappointing when I lost my memory card, or thought I lost it for good, not able to find it. I was really disappointed. So that's what I wanted to do, is if anybody's here watching from other regions here in North America, thinking, oh, Southern California is just hot and palm trees all day and all night and all year. That's not always the case. There are definitely some varied dimensions to Southern California. And that's one of the aims of my channel, the aims of my videos. And again, yeah, the Fremont cottonwoods probably already pretty much shed most of their foliage. But, yeah, our good old Gooding's black willow is still edging in some foliage for us, which is very much appreciated. And some of the Gooding's willows haven't even changed yet. Yeah, listen to that water. Huh. Ooh, a mallard pair. Female, the one above, and the male, the one below. Anas platyrincos. No matter what season, you'll find them hanging out here. But at least we do get some fall color here. Again, this might not look like New England or anything, but you know where to go, you'll find it. Trust me. I think I see some sycamore action over here. Yeah, finally the good willows are finally changing color, which is very appreciated. And again, with the release date of this video probably close to Christmas, I will find some more lower elevation spots that likely be showing some foliage as well, so be on the lookout for that as it comes. We've got a sycamore tree here too. Pretty much the fall foliage in the mountains has definitely got more of a later peak as well, so there might still be some when I go. But yeah, beautiful sycamore trees. Yeah, they're finally showing some signs of coloring down here in this beautiful woodland of, there's a lot of red willow here too. Got red willow, Salix laevigata, Fremont cottonwood, Populus fremontii, Gooding's black willow, Salix goodingii, California sycamore, Platanus racemosa, and of course, royal willow is really common here too. But yes, as the rest of this month progresses, the sycamores will probably be getting more colorful, and I will make sure to get footage of that as that proceeds through into December. And as I said, probably a video release date in late December will probably be the most likely outcome of this video. So keep staying tuned as I keep trying to find more fall foliage. Alright, so I'm starting to get close to finishing up this video here. Now, today is actually the second full day of winter, but things change quite a bit later here in the lowlands. So, we're kind of wrapping up with some of our lowlands, like these sycamore trees. These are our California sycamores here, and towards the end of fall, they tend to have more of a brownish yellow. In some cases, the brown is so crisp colored that it actually kind of appears like an orange color from a distance. And a lot of these sycamore trees are actually just about leafless, but I do want to get up towards some of these over here that still have some fall color left over on them. Our fall color year was very late this year because it's been an incredibly warm fall. I wouldn't say record-breaking hot, but definitely warmer than average. And even most of the month of December has been incredibly warm. Our sycamore trees here are some of the last ones to color up the scene. You can see some very nice colors here as we end up our fall color season. Still a lot of ornamental trees here that are coloring. But look how large some of these sycamore leaves are. Very large. But yeah, I'll wipe that little spot off my camera there. Very annoying when it does that. But yeah, you can see, pretty nice to end our season with some of the large California sycamore trees here. Ending the season. And these trees have a very wonderfully woodsy aroma. California sycamore, Platanus racemosa. Yes. I've seen some of these trees in some areas that actually turn, the leaves after they yellow will turn brown. And as I mentioning briefly, the leaves on the trees from a distance will actually appear to be a brilliant orange color. So, yeah, sycamore trees can be quite charismatically beautiful in the fall, as seen from a distance. So yes, the lowlands are much later to color, and I'm thinking about stopping by a nearby park and seeing if the sweet gum trees over there still have color on them. So yeah, California sycamores, Platanus racemosa. How beautiful is that? Just ending off what's been a very warm fall with a little end of season color to wrap things up. So very pretty, very pretty. Very pretty. I'll get a few pictures of this small grove of trees and I'll move on to another spot. Try to see if I can find more fall color. Here's a very close relative of the California sycamore. Interestingly enough, growing right next to them. Where is this? Let me see. Let me get closer to this. Trying to see if this is a sycamore or a London plane tree. Apparently this is a sycamore too. But London plane trees, Platanus hispanica, are very similar. and are closely related. But yeah, there we are. Pretty nice. Let's get a couple more pictures of this little spot. As you can see, most of the cottonwood trees are leafless already for winter. Coming up on another little tidbit. Here's a shrub / small tree I point out all the time. Royal willow. If you ever see royal willow in higher elevation, colder areas where nights get much colder, these can turn a pretty nice yellow in fall, pretty golden color. So this is the Kumeyaay Campground Trail. Let's see if there's any fall color lingering around here still. Yeah, like I said, we're basically in winter now, technically. But things out here can be pretty late to color, so yeah, you can see kind of the last vestiges of some leaf change left over, mostly by those smaller willows. I've never been here in the Kumeyaay Lake campground area. I could definitely see myself spending a night here one day. But yeah, some of the sycamores still have some color on them left. Let's see what else I find. Okay, so I'm coming up to another plant that has a little touch of fall color. It's not usually a fully deciduous, winter deciduous plant. What's this plant here? Rubus ursinus, the California blackberry. It does get a little touch of autumn color on it. Some of the leaves will kind of redden off a little bit. You see there. So this is Rubus ursinus, California blackberry. Another awesome plant that, while maybe not fully deciduous like these guys here, the willows and cottonwoods, can get a little touch of late autumn color as well. Very nice. Another nice thing to see. Like I said, most of this is evergreen, but here we go. Here's a little close-up. Very beautiful. Okay, I can dig it. Alright, so now, to add more fall color flavor, I'm going to look at a species of tree growing here in Southern California, which is native to the eastern half of the U.S. It's called the sweet gum, Liquidambar steraciflua. That tree there, with a nice yellow to red fall color. Fall color on this tree. Very nice. And here's the variability of the fall color on the sweet gum. Sometimes even here in Southern California, these trees can change brilliantly, as you can see here. They get even more colorful than this, believe it or not. Very beautiful sweet gum tree right here. Most of its red is in the sunnier parts of the canopy. Very nice. Very nice. Very handsome, beautiful sweet gum. A tree I've grown to love for a very long time. zoom in over towards the school. That's another sweet gum right there. Full scarlet red. Sometimes these trees can turn purple in fall. But right there, that is a scarlet fall color of the sweet gum. A lot of times they'll start by changing a little bit yellow and then they'll migrate to red, but this one has multiple colors. So I wonder if this is the festival cultivar. We have different cultivars of sweet gum. Sometimes they change different colors at different times. And their leaves have such a satisfying sound in the wind too. If you ever crush a leaf of a sweet gum, it has a very awesome resinous smell to it. Very fragrant. Liquid ambar styraciflua. Another piece of the fall colored puzzle here. Now I'm here a little bit late for these, but this is the Chinese Pistacia chinensis. A couple weeks ago this tree was decked out, probably in brilliant red. But it's a little late now. We'll go over to this side, hopefully look at a couple more sweet gums before I leave. There's some other sweet gum trees right here. See, this was backlit by the sun. Look at that. Very nice. And they're backlit by the sun, they're very pretty. Very nice fall color. These ones here tend to be a little bit later changing. But since there's a lot of other trees here casting a little bit of shade, these ones probably won't get the brilliant reds and oranges that a lot of other ones will get. These were featured on my Trees of San Diego County episode back in the end of May. I did an episode on this tree. Now I want to come back here and add this to my fall color video collection. The sweet gum trees can be very beautifully fall colored trees. And those are the ones I looked at earlier over there. Fall's my favorite season. Technically now we're in late December, so we're changing off towards winter. But we do get some trees that stay coloring pretty late into the year because of our mild climate. So, beautiful sweet gum, liquid ambar styraciflua. Beautiful trees. One of my favorite trees. So, I believe this is going to basically, well, let's go to one more species of tree that's more of a late color. It's the Chinese flame tree, Colereteria bipinnata, that sometimes changes pretty nice yellows, and it's a much later tree to change color as well. So I'll go right over to this little specimen here. So this is Colereteria bipinnata, Chinese flame tree. It does get some beautiful yellow golden colors too in autumn. Beautiful tree. And it does have a close relative that sheds its leaves much earlier, and that's Colereteria paniculata. And those trees are already leafless for winter. But yeah, we do get some nice yellows. Again, some of our cultivated trees can change pretty nicely as well. So I would come here earlier. These here, Gladitsia triacanthos, honey locust trees would have been coloring too. Kind of a golden yellow. But yeah, I think that's going to do for this year. I'm I'm wondering if I should do this kind of video every year and see which years are better than others. Well, thanks for watching my fall color of Southern California video. Maybe I'll do this as a yearly thing, maybe. So maybe next year. Thanks for watching.